Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Usually when I record these videos, I like to build this sort of meta point in the intro, and then spend the rest of the video reinforcing that point. But sometimes I don't have as much of a clear direction. Sometimes I just stumble upon a clip that I think's absolutely incredible. And today's exactly one of those videos. I got one of those clips that popped up on my timeline, and the moment I was finished watching it, I just said, yep, this is going on the channel. So we're about to get into that shortly, but this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's first play that clip. This video is brought to you guys by American Hartford Gold. Listen folks, in terms of a long-term financial view, the worst thing that you could do is hold on to cash. Everything is getting more expensive. If you hold on to cash, you simply become poorer, and that's where American Hartford Gold comes into play. American Hartford Gold is a 5-star rated company across the board, and also boasting an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. These guys are simply the best, and they're here to protect you in these inflationary times by diverting a portion of your portfolio into solid precious metals, gold and silver. And friends, American Hartford Gold makes it as easy as it gets. All you got to do is give them a call, and they'll have physical gold and silver sent to your doorstep or directly deposited into your IRA or 401k. It's a no-brainer, folks. Hold on to the world's oldest and most stable investment. That's precious metals. Protect yourself from inflation, and all it takes is a single phone call. And you probably thought I was done there, but nope, it gets even better because they're currently running a special promotion where you can receive up to $15,000 in free silver on qualifying purchases. Friends, like I said, it's a no-brainer. Protect yourself against the incompetence of these useless, empty-suit politicians by simply giving a call to 844-440-1005. That's 844-440-1005, or text Hivemind. That's one word, Hivemind, to 65532. Again, that's text Hivemind to 65532. A huge thank you to American Hartford Gold. Now back to the video. Okay, so back on subject here. Let's go ahead and play this clip that I found. This is Victor Davis Hansen chiming in on some of the things that the Democratic media is going on about these days. Take a look.
Just like Obama did, he fired almost everybody. I can tell you I was on the American Battlefield Monuments Commission, an apolitical. As soon as Obama came in, he fired me. And he fired every Republican on that commission. And I don't blame him. That was what he wanted, people on the same team. But Trump didn't. So he's going to do what most people do, get a team in there. And he's going to get people who don't fit that background of Merrick Garland, Lloyd Austin, Blinken, Sullivan. So he said, to make sure that these people understand what I'm dealing with, I'm going to pick people who have been targeted by these people. Let's see, National Institute of Health, that is the most important of all the organizations. And under Francis Collins, they targeted people. In fact, they targeted Jay Bhattacharya from Stanford. They went after him. I'll make him the head of it. They targeted people. They put surveillance on Kash Patel when he was a congressional. I'm going to make him head of the FBI. Oh, I know. Secretary of Defense. Pete Hegseth wrote a book chronicling all the problems with the revolving door. I'm going to make him the head of the Defense Department. Oh, Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard. She was on a terrorist watch list. She will be the head of the Director of National Intelligence. So that's what he did.
One of the latest cringe talking points from the left is that Trump is somehow wrong or a tyrant or engaging in illegal, unconstitutional action for firing Obama, Biden, DNC loyalists. Left-wing deep state operatives who have embedded themselves in federal government. But not only does that argument make no sense legally, it's not unconstitutional, but just the whole premise doesn't really make sense. I mean, that's like complaining that the new CEO is firing employees who are actively trying to sabotage the business. Fundamentally, how could that be a bad thing? That's the first thing. And secondly, as Victor Davis Hansen points out, Obama and Joe Biden did the exact same thing. And of course they did, because that's pretty much how presidential transitions work. You bring your own team to execute your vision. And of course, as the president of the United States, you have the mandate from the people to come in and pretty much unilaterally form government the way that you see fit. And it's got me thinking to when Joe Biden took office, slashed all the Trump executive orders, fired pretty much anyone even remotely connected to Donald Trump. It happened so quick, it was like the first thing that he did. And honestly, I don't remember spending too much time covering it at the time. I remember it was happening and we spoke about it, but it wasn't this big constitutional crisis moment. No, it was pretty much par for the course. It was expected. And what's crazy, and I guess maybe a little bit naive, but to give Donald Trump some credit during his first term, that he was coming in with good faith. A lot of people forget this, but as Victor Davis Hansen pointed out, Trump didn't even do mass firings in his first term. He actually tried to work with these people. He kept on a bunch of deep state hacks in his administration because he thought, naively maybe, that he could bring people together genuinely. I mean, imagine that. The guy that they call an authoritarian actually gave his political enemies a chance instead of returning the favor. And how did that play out? They leaked, they lied, they plotted against him, and they spent over 8 years pushing hoaxes, impeachments, and lawfare, all in an effort to destroy him. That's basically the backstory. And now that everything's happening the way that it's happening, with Donald Trump coming in, sure, with a little bit of a vengeance, nobody's gonna deny that. We're supposed to buy this constitutional crisis crap? Give me a break. None of this is surprising, and again, it's exactly what Trump campaigned on. His campaign was titled the Revenge Tour for a reason, because lessons were learned in the first administration, and moving on to re-election, well, the gloves are off. And at this point, it's evolved into something way bigger. You know, this isn't just about personal vendettas. It's not just about Donald Trump's deep state takedown. This is Trump sending a message to all Americans that the rot will be rooted out. And that was probably the perfect time to segue to the second point, another theme of the Davis Hansen clip, and of course another leftist talking point. You'll always hear the leftist media and the Democrats go on and on about how Donald Trump fancies himself as an authoritarian leader. Remember that talking point from the 2024 election, where they claimed that Donald Trump made a statement at one point that he wanted generals just like Hitler had. And of course, this builds on the greater narrative that they've been constantly pushing, that Donald Trump demands absolute loyalty, and he's firing people who don't fall in line. Donald Trump demands absolute loyalty, and that's the only criteria when hiring someone. Yeah, I think that's a completely bogus narrative. And I think Mr. Hansen connected the dots perfectly. His picks aren't just loyal to him or loyal to his vision. They're people who were targeted by the Obama-Biden corrupt weaponization regime. Tulsi Gabbard, sitting member of Congress at the time, who was put on a terrorist watch list for criticizing Kamala Harris. Think about how insane that is. Government agencies put her on a watch list because she called out Kamala Harris, the next in line political candidate. Kash Patel, he was smeared by the leftoid media machine because he was one of the few people that was actually exposing the Russia hoax. Even little Adam Schiff personally went after Patel, falsely accusing him of leaking classified information. These are the people that Trump is elevating, and he's basically telling the American people, look at what they did to these people. Look at the level of corruption that we are up against. And this isn't just about exposing corruption, it's about putting the right people in power. I mean, who better to clean house than those who are personally targeted by the same corrupt system that tried to destroy Donald Trump? These aren't career politicians that are looking for cushy government gigs. These are fighters, patriots, people who saw firsthand just how deep the rot goes, and they refuse to back down. And of course, while they call his 2024 campaign the Revenge Tour, and in a way it's been co-opted because it's kind of badass sounding, at the end of the day, this really isn't about revenge. It's about real, lasting change and reforms. You can't expect to fix Washington by working with the exact same swamp rats who built the damn thing. The architects of the swamp will not dismantle it. And Trump isn't making the mistake this time of trying to work with these deep staters again. No, he's bringing in the exact people who were wronged by it, because they know what's wrong with the system better than anyone. And now they're peeking behind the curtain and even calling the shots. It had nothing to do with loyalty and everything to do with patriotic reforms. And so I guess TLDR, maybe there was a meta point at the end. After all, maybe this video isn't so different than every other I've recorded. Trump isn't a dictator, and it's not the end of democracy. No, in fact, I'd say this is exactly what democracy is supposed to look like. I think Scott Jennings said it best.
Regarding Elon and the bureaucracy, if I just may respond to something you said about the bureaucracy. There seems to be, when Republicans are president, that this idea that the bureaucracy and the government should not be responsive to the political leadership of the executive branch. That is totally false. It has nothing to do with a loyalty test, but it does have to do with whether or not the unelected bureaucracy is responsive to the political oversight of the government. And Democrats right now do not seem to believe that the president should be able to be the president. We have elections for a reason in this country. We vest all executive authority in a president of the United States, not in an unelected bureaucracy, not in independent agencies, but in a president. The president's agenda matters. When a Republican is president, the bureaucracy resists. It has to stop.
That sounds more like a king. It does not sound like
Sounds like
president
our
of the
Constitution
United
to me.
It's the end of the bureaucracy and a return to democracy. And you know, the left, the establishment can cope and seethe all they want, but cry all you want and deny all you want. This is the mandate. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.